Benjamin! Fuck!
On a ship, the scene shows two men named Benjamin Barker and a sailor named Anthony. Benjamin has just gotten out of prison. Benjamin used to be a good barber in one of the areas in London. He also has a very beautiful wife and a daughter named Johanna. Benjamin went to prison because he was slandered and framed by a judge named Judge Turpin. Judge Turpin did all this because he liked Benjamin's wife, Lucy. A few years later, Benjamin came to an area in the city of London, which used to be where he and his wife lived. Benjamin used to have a barber shop in this area. Benjamin then entered a meat pie shop, which was on the lower floor of his barber shop. This meat pie shop was owned by a woman named Mrs. Lovett. This meat pie shop looked so dirty that the shop was always deserted. Even Lovett herself admitted that her meat pie shop was the worst pie shop in the city of London. But even so, Lovett still welcomed Benjamin to her shop by giving him a banquet of drinks and a pie that doesn't seem worth eating. Benjamin asked Lovett about the building on the top floor of his pie shop. Lovett replied that the place had not been inhabited for a long time. It was once inhabited by a very reliable barber with his beautiful wife and a child, but until finally the barber went to prison. So the barber's wife was teased by a judge named Turpin. At night, Turpin told his assistant named Beetle to take Lucy to Judge Turpin's house, who was having a party. Then Lucy was given drinks until she was drunk and unconscious. On that occasion, Judge Turpin raped Lucy. Benjamin, who could not bear to hear the story, shouted for Lovett to stop telling the story. From here, Lovett realized that the barber he was telling was this man. But to cover his current identity, Benjamin used a new name, Sweeney Todd. Then Benjamin asked about the whereabouts of his wife and child now. Lovett replied that his wife is now dead. She committed suicide by drinking poison because she was experiencing severe depression, while his child, Johanna, has been taken and considered his own child by Judge Turpin. Hearing that story, Benjamin felt sad and angry at the same time, and he was very vengeful towards Judge Turpin. Then Lovett took Benjamin to his barber shop, which was upstairs. Arriving at the place, Benjamin again remembered his beautiful past with his wife. Then Lovett showed Benjamin his razor, which Lovett kept under the wooden floor. And Benjamin was nostalgic for the profession he used to run. It turns out that his razor still looks shiny. Benjamin intends to reopen his barbershop, of course with a new name, Sweeney Todd. The scene switches. We see Anthony, who is watching a girl sitting behind the window of a house. Suddenly a beggar comes up to him. Anthony also gave money to the beggar. He also asked the beggar about the girl who was sitting in front of the window. The beggar explained that the house belonged to Judge Turpin, and the girl in the window was named Johanna. Every day Johanna was always locked in the room and was not allowed to go out by Judge Turpin. The beggar also reminded Anthony not to enter there without permission, or he would get a whipping. But Anthony had already fallen in love with Johanna. He intended to free Johanna from the house. But Anthony did not realize that Judge Turpin was watching him. Then Judge Turpin told Anthony to enter the house. Inside the house, Judge Turpin threatened Anthony and forbade him to look at Johanna. Then the scene moves to Benjamin and Lovett, who are at the market. At the market, Benjamin sees Beetle, the assistant of Judge Turpin, who used to bring his wife to Judge Turpin's house. At that moment, Benjamin's grudge flared up again, and he wanted to kill Beetle. But Lovett held him back and said not to do it now and wait for the right time later. In the market, people were gathered to watch the actions of an Italian barber named Pirelli. He was showing his skills as a reliable barber. He was also promoting an oil that could fertilize hair. In that action, Pirelli was assisted by an assistant named Toby. When Pirelli and Toby were promoting their wares, suddenly Benjamin and Lovett insulted them, saying that the oil they sell looks like urine put in a bottle. Pirelli and Toby, who heard that, felt unacceptable, and Pirelli invited Benjamin to compete by showing their shaving skills, and Beetle would be the judge. Long story short, Benjamin managed to win the challenge, and he got 50 pawns. After everything was done, Benjamin offered a free shave to Beetle, and he promised to come to Benjamin's barbershop. The scene switches as Johanna realizes that there has been a man watching her from outside the house. Then Johanna throws the key to her room to Anthony. Yes, even though Johanna holds the key to her room, she doesn't dare to leave the house due to threats from Judge Turpin. Johanna doesn't realize that Judge Turpin had seen her throwing the key. After Anthony got Johanna's key, he left and went to Benjamin's barbershop. Then Anthony told him that there was a girl locked up in Judge Turpin's house, and he planned to get her out at night. Anthony also asked Benjamin for permission to temporarily stay at his barbershop and leave Johanna there. Hearing the story, Benjamin realized and knew that the girl in question was Johanna, his own biological daughter. Then he allowed Anthony. After Anthony left, suddenly Pirelli and Toby came to Benjamin's barbershop. Lovett also invited Toby to his pie shop. Pirelli's purpose of coming there was to ask for back the bet money for his defeat. And unexpectedly, Pirelli found out the true identity of Benjamin because he used to shave his hair at his place. You could say Pirelli became a barber because he was inspired by Benjamin. Pirelli promised to keep Benjamin's new identity, in exchange for which he had to share half of the proceeds of his business. Otherwise, Pirelli would leak Benjamin's identity to Judge Turpin. Feeling his pride trampled on, Benjamin immediately hit Pirelli with a hot pot. Hearing the commotion upstairs, Toby rushed upstairs to Pirelli, but Benjamin had hidden Pirelli in a wooden crate and said that Pirelli had left, and he told Toby to follow him, but Toby refused and he still wanted to be here until Pirelli returned. Toby was afraid of Pirelli. If he didn't obey Pirelli's word, then Pirelli would hit him. Benjamin told Toby to wait downstairs. After Toby left, Benjamin found that Pirelli was not dead, and without further ado, Benjamin immediately executed him. Then the scene switches, showing Judge Turpin, who is carrying out his duties as a judge. Then Beetle tells Judge Turpin that there is a new barber who is very reliable. He is named Sweeney Todd. Knowing this, Judge Turpin rushes to the barbershop. Then the scene returns to Benjamin's barbershop. Lovett is shocked that Benjamin has killed Pirelli, and Benjamin also plans to kill Pirelli's assistant, but Lovett forbids it because Lovett wants to hire Toby to manage her pie shop. Not long after, Judge Turpin arrives at Benjamin's barbershop. He wants to shave his hair to look more handsome. Benjamin, who had long had a grudge against Judge Turpin, was happy and immediately wanted to fulfill his grudge. But before he could kill the judge, Anthony suddenly came to the barbershop, and he said that he had met Johanna and wanted to take her out tonight. But Anthony immediately fell silent when he saw Judge Turpin there. Judge Turpin, who heard that, became very angry, and he no longer wanted to return to Benjamin's barbershop. He thought Anthony had collaborated with Benjamin to distract him so that Anthony could take Johanna away. Benjamin is also angry with Anthony because he has thwarted his revenge, which has been suppressed. Finally, Benjamin vows to avenge himself on everyone, and he will vent his anger by killing the customers who come to his barbershop while waiting for the opportunity to kill Judge Turpin. With this plan, Lovett is willing to help Benjamin. They both plan to turn the corpses of his victims into meat pies to increase Lovett's business. Then Benjamin modifies his shaving chair by installing a pedal that is directly connected to the kitchen where Lovett makes pies. So after Benjamin kills his victims, the bodies of his victims can be processed directly in Lovett's kitchen. Meanwhile, Anthony starts looking for Johanna. He finds out that Johanna has been sent to a mental hospital after Judge Turpin finds out Anthony's plan to take Johanna away. On the other hand, after using the victim's meat to make pies, it turns out that Lovett's pie shop business has become very popular. She also made Toby his assistant to promote the pie business. Elsewhere, Anthony is finally able to find Johanna's whereabouts, and at the suggestion of Benjamin, he will disguise himself as a wig-making assistant in order to get into the asylum and take Johanna out of there. On the other hand, Benjamin immediately makes a new plan so that Judge Turpin can return to his barbershop. He told Toby to deliver a letter to Judge Turpin, which contained that Anthony had kidnapped Johanna and would be taken to his barbershop. Then at night, Toby met Lovett and he conveyed his suspicions of Benjamin. He felt that Benjamin was a bad person, but Toby did not know that Lovett also had a hand in the crime. Knowing this, Lovett locked him in the roasting room for fear that Toby would report their actions. Then Beetle is seen coming to Lovett's pie shop because he has received many reports from local residents complaining about the stench coming out of his shop's chimney. But Benjamin diverted the conversation by offering Beetle a free shave. Of course, Beetle agreed, and that's where Benjamin returned to complete his revenge by killing Beetle. After that, Lovett also told Benjamin about Toby's suspicions of him. Then they immediately looked for Toby, who had disappeared from the meat roasting room, without them knowing that Toby was hiding in the culvert of the room. After he found Beetle's corpse that fell from above, he also found pieces of human fingers from the meat pie he ate. On the other hand, Anthony managed to free Johanna and immediately took her to Benjamin's barbershop. He also locked the mental hospital officer in the cell, which made the officer finally attacked by the patients in the mental hospital.
Todd! Return with the coach in less than half an hour.
The scene moved. The beggar woman was seen secretly entering Benjamin's barbershop and looking for the Beetle's whereabouts, but Benjamin was aware of her action. When the beggar saw Benjamin's face, she said that she recognized Benjamin's face. At the same time, Judge Turpin also came there to find Anthony, who had kidnapped Johanna. Then Benjamin immediately killed the beggar and immediately put him into the trapdoor. When Judge Turpin entered, Benjamin explained that Johanna was now fine and soon she would come here. While waiting for Johanna's arrival, Benjamin again offered Judge Turpin a free shave. And finally, Benjamin managed to trap Judge Turpin. Benjamin reveals his true identity to Judge Turpin, and he immediately kills him.
Benjamin! Fuck!
Johanna, who had previously arrived at the barbershop and hid in a crate, she saw the incident. Because of fear, she came out of hiding. Benjamin did not yet realize that the person in front of him was Johanna. When Benjamin wanted to kill Johanna, he was distracted when he heard Lovett's screams from below. Lovett told Benjamin that Judge Turpin was still alive, but not long after, he died of blood loss. Then when Benjamin returned to look at the beggar's body, he realized that the beggar he had killed was his own wife. It turns out that the story from Lovett, who said that Benjamin's wife died from drinking poison, was a lie because Lovett liked Benjamin. And if Benjamin found out his wife was still alive, he would definitely look for her. Then Benjamin pretended to forgive Lovett's lies and invited her to dance. At that moment, Benjamin immediately threw Lovett into the grill, which made her die instantly. Then Benjamin returned to his wife's body and regretted all his actions so far, until he did not realize that the beggar was his own wife. Then suddenly Toby came out of hiding and took Benjamin's razor that fell. He approached Benjamin and immediately slashed his neck, which made Benjamin die in his wife's arms. And the movie was over. Thank you for watching and see you soon.